there's three questions you got to ask yourself when you perform: is who am I, where am I, and what do I want? And all these things have, of course, they branch out in many other ways, but those are the three main questions. Because they would all determine how you're going to respond to something, or how you feel about something, or how you're going to not just necessarily say something, but how you're going to take the action towards it, your physical action towards it, right? When you do improv, you have to do that off the cuff. Immediately, if someone says, like, hi, Dad, you're your dad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's no denying that, or, if someone says, give me back my socks, and you're like, I'm sorry, like, that's what it is.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Film Goals podcast. Today, I'm with the one and only Angel Mendoza, my name twin, except he's a Mendoza. I've had people hit me up thinking I was you a couple times.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, I want some stunt acting. And I'm like, oh, you got the wrong Angel. I think we're the same person sometimes.
Yeah, I've had that once. I had that happen once. I remember. I don't remember who it was, but yeah, they were like.
I've had a couple people. It was pretty funny. But yeah, man, you do. You're an actor. You're a stunt performer, and you do crew stuff too, like behind the scenes stuff.
Uh-huh.
So, what made you get into filmmaking? What made you get started?
It was a series of things, man. It wasn't just like a point in time or a moment in my life that I was like, you know what, this is the way I'm going to go. I think it was just layer upon layer, and then life just kind of kept leading me to it. I did theater in high school, which I really enjoyed. I somehow stumbled across doing extra work right out of high school. I didn't even know like where to start or nothing like that, or even if that's the way I wanted to go. But yeah, I just did some of that stuff, like Ocean's 11.
Oh shit!
Undisputed, and so we were, typical,
yeah,
extra roles. And then I did theater in college, and then I put it on the back burner for a while, man. When I was like early 20s, I got into heavy drinking and drugs. So like everything else was like, I'll do this later kind of thing,
Yeah.
And no matter what I did, like after, everything led me to performing. For some people that don't know, like I've done martial arts for a long time, and that somehow gained me confidence to actually do stand up. And that was just, I just dabbled with it. I'm not going to say I got any good at it. I just kind of tried it out a few times. And that kind of led me into like doing like sketches with friends, and, I gained that confidence to just perform essentially. And then, and that kind of led me into doing stunts. Like I found this group that was just practicing for whatever reason, and we had this other local stunt performer and coordinator or choreographer, Chris Mayashiro. He got into the group because he was looking for stunt people for a film project that he was working on, and made some really good friends with that. I still talk to a lot of these people, and we learned a lot, man. Learned a lot through that process. And it was through them that I got into the crew side, the production. I started meeting people that way, and I got to learn some stuff behind the camera, and I learned a little bit about lighting, I learned a little bit about electric work, and the AC stuff, and it just, I was consumed by it for a very long time, and eventually I just found what I really wanted to do, and that was acting. Even though I started doing crew stuff, I was still called for like the stunt performances, and I was still called for the acting side. Most of my focus is now just acting, but every now and then I dabble with the stunt work. Some people ask, ask for tips, or even I do workshops every now and then, but it's all simple stuff, and I kind of just feel like I need to introduce that again, just because people still ask,
So, when did you like fully jump into like the acting? Like when did you start taking acting classes and stuff like that? Because we met at an acting class. Remember?
Correct. That's right. Yeah. So, I had taken acting classes before in like high school, college, and So there was a turning point to start get serious, and this was a project that I was called upon to do again. Excuse me. And it was supposed to be a demo reel for these two other actors, which I love working with. But my scene was like a hostage. I was playing a hostage, but he was depleted. And I didn't know these techniques, but I did something that I thought was method acting. And while they were filming their scene before me, like I kind of went to this like dark place, like literally and figuratively, and I just hung out there by myself in the cold on the floor, and like I was like, this is what it must be like to be kidnapped, you know. and it put me in a really in a dark place mentally, and
wow.
And everybody, I could feel everybody taken back by my presence. And then like when we got done with the scene and got done with that, I was like, oh, maybe I should like get serious about this, because that felt like it's something I want to do again. Not necessarily like, you know, like
that dark.
Yeah, but like I want to learn how to do it, you know, like properly.
Yeah.
And not necessarily method acting, but maybe, you know, whatever other
So you
styles.
you enjoyed being able to like kind of lose yourself in that character.
It was, I think it was the development of it that I like the process of coming up with a character state of mind, like their choices, why they do this, why would they say that, why would they believe this, you know. And I think that kind of opened my eyes in a different way, you know.
Okay.
And
what was once you started training, what was that method? Was it method acting, or what was the proper performance that you were doing?
That was right shortly after that is when I decided to take that Meisner class, or what we thought was Meisner.
I don't know any better.
Yeah, me neither. You know, so I was like, you know, when I first took that class, the first few sessions, I was like, oh, this is like legit, because I didn't know anything better. But then I got involved in thanks to that class, I will say this, I got cast in 2 plays back to back, and when I came back from that, it was like, I'm not learning shit here, you know. This is actually weighing me down.
You hit where you needed to be.
Yeah. I was surrounded by like top-notch performers, you know, people that have been studying this for years, and they're like triple threats, you know, dancers, singers, whatever. And I'm like, what am I doing here, dude? You know, and I was like, I have something. Somebody was interested in what I have to offer, and I was like, let's polish this tool up, man.
So where did you go after that? Did you find something else where you can train, or did you just start doing work?
I just started doing work, to be honest. I was right after that. I did a series of plays, like right after the other. I even decided to take improv, which was such a strong tool to have, you know, and not only a tool itself, but I feel like the more you study improv, the more you make better use of the tools that you already have, if that makes sense, you know. And it was mind blowing. That's one of the ones that I want to go back to, but I also would like to go back to studying another technique, you know, some Udo Hagen or something like that, whatever there is out there.
So you've done a lot of plays, and you're very involved in the theater community here in town. Talk about like how you got involved in that, and some of your favorite plays that you've done. I've seen a few, so
yeah. Well, it was like I said, through that class.
Yeah.
I went through this open audition. They called it like the Theater Alliance audition. So it's just basically an open casting, and a lot of the local theater community, the local theater companies came into this theater at UNLV, and they all have, you know, their list of projects, and we hand out our headshots and resumes, and and you do your 2-minute piece, and then everybody decides if they want you for a project or not. And then right after that, I just started getting calls, man.
Does that happen every year, or how long does that happen?
I think it happened one more time after that, and then it fell apart. At least I haven't heard of it. I'd love to go to it again if possible. Just knock it out one shot,
Yeah.
But no, I haven't heard of it anymore.
Okay.
And yeah, I did within a year. I did, I think, 4 plays and a couple of guest spots here and there with like sketch comedy and what do you call it? Stage readings.
Okay.
So those were really fun to do, and those are really where you learn a lot too, man. Every director has a way, a method, and a certain type of notes, and you just pick up on that, you know.
Do you have a favorite play that you've done so far, or talk about a couple of them that you've done that kind of stand out?
I've had favorite ones. I'm not gonna say they're on the like this is the best one. I like him for certain things. Like when I did Christmas Carol, it was my first big performance and on a like legit stage, and I'm just like fresh, like I did some stuff in high school, but it was never like that big or that ongoing, and just like being a part of that was important to me. Like it was important to go through that, knowing that there's so many people that are much better than you, and you got to keep up with them, and they make you work. When I did, shortly after that, I did Our Town, where no, I'm sorry, I did Measure for Measure, and that was a Shakespeare play, but we did it in immersive. It was immersive theater. So you had to have some kind of improv, but you also have to follow the script. And this was the first like fully immersive show that this theater had done. I think this was like the fully immersive show in Vegas. Like it was the first one, I think, to be. Okay. There's been like semi-immersive,
explain that for people that know what immersive is.
So immersive theater is when it can be anywhere from like the play happening not only in a round, but like around you. Like you could be like sitting at some tables and the show's happening here, or like they're sitting next to you and part of the show's happening there.
Simultaneously, or is it?
So it depends on the show. It could be happening like in a live open space where you move around and you gotta like see what's going on, and either these actors either interact with you or not. And fully immersive is essentially the audience comes in and you become part of the show. Oh. And what we did with this particular show, which shows like this Majestic Repertory Theater is like known for this. We had the full long play, but there was things happening at the same time in different parts of the theater. So we could only bring in a certain amount of audience members because us, the performers, we had to split you up and take you on a track. Like I had to play a deputy. And one of my first tasks is to come in and deputize somebody to come help me arrest some people and take them to jail. And then, I had to take somebody to get executed, and then move over some prisoners to another location. And like in this whole time, as we're following this storyline, like me and you can go to a show and we'll get split up, and you saw one part of it, and then we each saw different parts of it, but some parts we saw together.
Okay.
So like that's pretty cool. It was pretty fun, man. It was really good.
Wow, that sounds interesting. Never been to any of those. That's on the list now. That sounds dope. Yeah.
I'll keep you posted.
All right, for sure. Let's talk about your film stuff. Is there any projects that like kind of stand out to you as well? I know you've done a bunch of different things here and there with film.
There, again, same thing, man. Like, I can't say that one stands out more than the others, but there's always like something about the other. The ones that do stand out the most was the one I mentioned earlier, and my first short film that I put together. That was like, to me, it's like just memorable. It was so stressful.
What was your film?
I wrote this action sequence, and me and a teammate of mine who's he's a professional stuntman now. We just wanted to do a fight scene, but then like when we choreographed it, I was like, I want a story behind this, man. I don't want to just film a fight scene.
Mm-hmm.
We both trained Muay Thai and Muay Boran, and but he had a very strong capoeira background, and I had a judo background, and we were like, what if we kind of like clash styles to make this thing, right? So it's kind of what we did in the fight, and but yeah, I wrote like a little 3-pager, and I put that together.
What was it about? What did the story end up being?
It was all it is these two guys that used to be, they basically were boosters. I guess they stole shit, and one character decides to go like a heavier route. I don't really specify what he gets into, but like the other character kind of calls him out on it, and because they clash and he doesn't want to deal with this particular person, my character tries to kick him out of town. Like, you're not allowed in here anymore in Vegas, and so you gotta just beat it. And so he kind of takes him out to the desert. He was like, you just kind of go that way, kind of thing.
Can you find it anywhere? Is it on YouTube?
Oh yeah, it's on YouTube.
Okay, what's it called?
It's called Vegas Rights.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so talk about how like performance, I guess, directing, I guess, performance directing or stunt directing. Do you do that, or?
I've done some directing.
Yeah.
With sketches. I used to write sketches for a local TV show out here. I wrote a few of them for it, and it was just some that I was able to direct.
But like stunt specifically, like with stunt performances.
Like
what do you? I guess what would you call it? Stunt coordinator?
No, not coordinator. Coordinator is another level. What I did is choreography.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, fight choreography. Stunt coordinator, it's a whole nother level. Like, it's more safety based.
Oh, okay.
Like the choreographer just says like this sequence happens, and the coordinator's like, how do we make it safe?
Okay.
Nobody get hurt, kind of thing. I mean, those two roles can be one person, but it takes years of practice. Like, I would never say that I'm gonna be a coordinator. Like, if someone says, "Oh, we're gonna coordinate a car accident," I'm like, "That's not me."
Okay. But you like doing like the action scenes?
Yes.
Being part of that?
Yes. I don't pursue it as much as I used to, because I got more into the acting side of it. But if the role calls for it, I get excited. I'm like, yeah, let's do it.
So you just did a film with Alberto,
Uh-huh.
right? Well, you've done a few projects with him. I know you guys did
a lot of them with him. Yeah.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about that. Acting on like any projects that you've worked on recently.
I've done 2 projects with him recently. One of them was a horror, which is in post now, and that one, it's just straight up acting. I play I play a flashback scene. That's what it is. Yeah, it's not a big scene. It's like two scenes where you're gonna get a little flashback to see kind of how the horror originated.
Yeah.
So that was really fun to do. I got a chance to work with a fellow actor that I had just done a play with, and then recently, like a few weeks ago, we just did something out of the blue that required me to play something fun.
Okay.
And I haven't done anything like that in a while. He looks serious, but he's not. Yeah, he's just a dumb character, and I loved it. It was obnoxious. I posted that picture.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that, the cartel one. Yeah,
yeah.
That was all that whole wardrobe and everything. That was all mine. Not my decision. I was like, I don't want this.
I want to be a cartel guy.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I saw it. So what do you enjoy doing more? Because like you said, horror, comedy, drama. What do you enjoy acting?
Man, that's a multi-layered question, man. I can't say that I prefer one more than the other. I feel as if I'm better at the comedic roles. I have experience in the action roles, and I feel like I'm really tested when it comes to the dramatic roles. I think there's a level of growth in all of those. So I can't say that I would prefer one more than the other. But I will say this: if you start doing one too much, then you're gonna start craving the other one. Well, at least that's me. I was like, oh man, I've been doing a lot of dramatic roles. I want to play something funny. The same thing if you do funny, then you're like, I need to shoot a gun or something.
Do you get when it comes to your characters, how like far do you go, and how long do you stay with the character, or is it something that you can just like as long as you're as soon as you cut, you're like, eh? How does it work for you?
I've dabbled with getting deep into it. Like I mentioned earlier, that one hostage situation where it took me a while to get out of it. Like I was like after the scene, I remember sitting there, and I don't remember what I was thinking or what. I just remember sitting on set, and people are like, striking the set down, and it was the AC. He comes up to me, he's like, "Are you all right, man?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Huh? Are you okay? Like, you need water or something?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm good." I like soft spoken, and I was like,
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe like 15 minutes later, I was like, "Whoa, like where was I, bro?" Like it was a weird situation, and I don't know if I wanted to do that all the time.
Yeah.
And luckily, because like I mentioned earlier, the improv that has trained me to do, or has taught me to find it more sporadically or like more in the moment. Is what improv taught me was to listen in a different way. And once you listen and you create that moment, you don't have to like turn it into something because it's already there.
Yeah.
One of my friends, he, as a matter of fact, he played Scrooge in Christmas Carol. We had conversations about like character development, and like mid conversation, he just goes, "You ever tried improv?" No, I just played with it, but no, you should try it. And then I had the same conversation. Maybe I'm not even joking about this, man. Like 2 weeks later, I was talking to Alberto about this character development as well, and he's just out of the blue, just mid conversation, he was like, "You ever tried improv?" And I was like,
"It's time, it's time to try it.
Something here."
Yeah,
and yeah, like I said, there's back to my friend Wes that did Christmas Carol with me. He mentioned something to me that I thought that I still take with me since then. He said, "There's 3 questions you got to ask yourself when you perform: is who am I, where am I, and what do I want?" And all these things have, of course, they branch out in many other ways, but those are the 3 main questions. Because they would all determine how you're going to respond to something, or how you feel about something, or how you're going to not just necessarily say something, but how you're going to take the action towards it, your physical action towards it, right? And when you do improv, you have to do that off the cuff. It's immediately if someone says like, "Hi, Dad," your dad. Yeah, there's no denying that, or if someone says, "Give me back my socks," then you're like, "Sorry," like that's what it is, Yeah. So like, I feel that once you learn how to listen properly, you don't have to take yourself to that dark side or whatever it is that you
get stuck in a certain character. Yeah.
Have you done it? Don't get me wrong. That style works too. You've seen a lot of famous actors that you get into it. So I can't knock it.
Yeah. Have you done any live improv performances, like any theater shows or like anything like that, or is that just taking classes?
I have. I've done it through the classes that I've taken. We've done like graduating classes, so I've done that. I've done a couple of guest spots here and there, but nothing.
Like a 30-minute show.
No, dude, I'm not that good.
I went to one like last year. It was my first time going to the improv 30-minute. I forgot the name of it.
Yeah.
But it was fun, man. And yeah, it's like they got to think fast. But I feel like they do it a lot.
Oh yeah.
They perform
it's
every
another
like
muscle.
Yeah, they perform every week or whatever. So
yeah.
I was like, damn, they're thinking fast. I can't even think of, because they ask the audience like, hey, tell us this.
Yeah.
Tell us a subject, and then people in the audience are like quiet, like, come on, guys, participate.
Yeah.
But it was cool. It was fun.
You get that one word suggestion.
Oh yeah.
And you always got to try to avoid spatula or dildo. You're like, come on, it's the same thing all the time.
Yeah. All right, man. So what you got going on next, bro? Oh, actually, I wanted to talk about that film you did that I went to see at the Phantom Bar.
Okay.
I didn't see the action one, but I saw the one previous. It was the one about the immigrant guy.
Oh, yeah.
Guillermo's film. Yeah.
Yes. Decision.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Guillermo.
That was really good.
Guillermo Barahona and Rose Donahue. They co-wrote it and directed it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because that was a dramatic role for you.
Yes, it was, man. Yes, it was. It was a very interesting subject for me because I'm very familiar with it. The character is going through some I guess legal issues in regards to getting documentation to stay in the U.S. and there's ways around it. And this particular character, when I was approached about it, like, just because it was them, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna work with you guys. Just send me the script. Let me take a look at it, whatever. And I read it, and I was like, oh man, I know this person.
Yeah.
Like this was my uncle growing up. This was my classmate.
Mm-hmm.
This is my neighbor. I've heard this story 100 times, and I was like, I know who this person is. And I felt I could translate it. I felt like I could. Maybe not as good as like someone who actually went through it, but like I was like, I really want to dabble. And then I heard who the cast was, and I was like, forget it. Like I don't even need to read the script. I already read it, but I was in my head. I was like, you just told me it was them. I would have just been on it. These are a lot of heavy hitting actors that I really, really admire and look up to. If you were to ask me like my favorite actors, I'm gonna give you a list of local people, so people that I've seen on stage, or on film, or here locally, and I'm like, you should look them up.
That's what's up. Let me know, and then I'll have them on.
Yeah.
So what was the film that came after? Because I didn't have a chance to go see that one. It was the
Dog
action
City.
film?
Dog City. It was a dramatic one.
It was dramatic?
It was
Oh, it
dramatic.
looked like an action film.
There was some action in it.
Okay.
But it's dramatic based. So this is it's about addiction. But I feel like it's also heavily about relationships, and I'm not just talking about like intimate relationships, but like relationships between your colleagues and your boss, of course your wife, whatever, and this character that I play is he's a contract killer. And when I heard that, I was like, yes, I'm be doing some John Wick shit, it's really cool. But then I read the script and I was like, oh, you want me to act, like, okay, I get it. And it was very, very, there's a lot of meat on this particular story. And I hope that they follow up with a episode 2 and probably make it a feature.
Oh, it's a series?
I don't know yet.
It's like a pilot type.
That's essentially the idea, is to expand it, but I don't know if they're gonna make it a film or if they're gonna make it a series or what. But it's they're in the talks, like the writer and producers are talking in that right now.
Okay.
But yeah, you saw that trailer with me like doing the shoot 'em ups and
that's what I thought it was actually, because he's like shooting a gun in the trailer.
Funny thing is that because that was just like essentially just like a concept trailer. When people saw the actual film, they're like, it cuts off at a point where like now shit hit the fan,
Okay.
And they were expecting that to happen, and like it ends and everybody's like, oh, what happened, bro? Like, you thought you were gonna start wrecking shit. And I was like, hey, wait.
Is that out anywhere, or they're?
It's not out right now.
Anymore.
I know they want to do a festival run.
Right.
But I'm not. I know the director. I'm sorry. The director is busy with that right now. So hopefully I'll get a follow up soon.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
So what's next, bro? What you got? What you working on after this? What you got going on for 2024?
There's a few things that I have planned. There's a callback for a show at a casino that I'm looking to get. It's just a 2-person show, but I went to the audition. It went really well, so I got the callback. So hopefully, in the callback, I'll hear some news about that. And it might be, I don't know, it might be like a 2-3 month run or something like that. I'm hoping, so that'll be fun. I don't want to hope for it just now. I just want to put it back in my head, and hopefully I hear back for it. And there's a project that I wrote that I'm trying to get a location for it, and this location that I want just looks perfect for what I want. And it's been hard to get it because it's very active. There's they have stuff going on all the time. So just, how indie film is, scheduling is probably the hardest part.
What's the story about?
The story is, I like to refer to it as unrequited love. It's a drama. But I think it's going to be like probably my first artistic piece.
Are you directing? Are you starting?
I wrote it, and I'm co-starring in it, and I'm going to hand off the directing. My friend Alberto, we've had this discussion. We did a table read, and I had a vision, and I thought that was grand, and then he added like layers to that, and I was like, oh man, this is gonna be awesome. But it's just a matter of location and scheduling the crew. That's gonna be the hard part. I think what I need to do, because to get it done sooner, I need to find a potential second location or third location just in case. And I think I need to focus my attention to that so that I can get it off the ground.
That's dope, bro.
Yeah, I'm hoping that happens, in the spring or something.
The name of it?
Unrequired. I don't have
you're calling it Unrequired Love?
No, that's a subject. Unrequited Love. Yeah,
Unrequited Love. Okay. You don't have a title?
It's a working title. Yeah. I have an idea, and I think I'm going to keep that, but I don't know yet.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Are you already casted and everything? Just waiting on crew?
And location? I do need one more character, but it's only like 2 lines. But the 2 main actors, yes. I already have those. And you're one of them. All right, man. Well, yeah. I can't wait to see that. I can't wait to see more projects from you and your theater stuff. This is Angel Mendoza. I'll leave all his links in the description. And Instagram is about it. We'll see you next time. Peace.